Welcome to Mustang Valley Ranch first look map tour with me, MrSealyp. So this is it, the next map from Something on My Shoe 2. It's a biggie. This is a Big Bud DLC map through and through, and quite epic. I mean, it is on an epic scale. I'm going to kill two birds with one stone on this video. Today in the Modhub there was this little cheeky number. If we go into, no, wrong one. If we go into cars, it's a Lizard Rumbler van for 68,000. You can change the main colour and you can change the rim colour. So I thought I'd use that to do the map tour. I've gone in that lovely limey pea green, and it goes up to about 70 something miles an hour, so not too bad at all. So we'll be doing the map tour in this, the Rumbler van. Looks like a bit like an old Ford Transit, that kind of thing, and it's by Giant Software, so I'll show you that just in a second. Well, let's have a quick look on the map, shall we? It's wow. You start with fields 3 and 5, which are tiny, except they're not tiny, they are huge, but compared to the other fields they appear tiny. There are 5 fields on this map. There is also up the top here a section of kind of a grass area, and round the sides of the map there's a lot of pine, it's kind of forestry available. There is a sawmill up the top of the map just here that we will go and have a look at. There is also a water course that splits the map in half with a couple of crossings like the old rickety bridge crossings that they had on Sosnovka. The farm is central, well, say relatively central, just west of central, and we're up here on the kind of northern part of the farm. This is a crazy map, but if you like your big machinery, your big bud stuff, and you want to do big fields with big payouts, this is the one for you. Top of the map we've got our cows, we've got our pigs, and we've got our sheep, and just north of where we are now, just to the side, is the chicken coop kind of thing. We're going to go just around the yard first of all, and then probably south, and then a route clockwise around the map. I think it's probably the best way to do it. That's how I'm aiming to do it. Anyway, before I do that, I just want to very quickly jump over here. Actually, no, we'll do it on the way around. We'll look at the fields on the way around. We'll scroll across. Prices are I suppose, yeah, pretty average then. Not ridiculously high, not ridiculously low. Scrolling across, the price for wool is okay. Wood chips is a bit low. Silage somewhere around average. Just a little bit higher than on some maps, but quite a bit lower than on others. I've got this on normal, so yeah, the prices would be a bit higher if it was an easy. And you have the BJ bunker. Sell points, you've got diner, old red barn, small farm, and valley grains. The spinnery is obviously for wool. The sawmill obviously for your wood and your wood chips. And well, the old red barn is for grass and hay bales and those kind of things. And the BJ obviously is for your silage needs. So jumping off of there, let's jump into the Rumbler van. And before we begin, on the PlayStation controller, if I press L1 and then my right mushroom, I can open the rear doors all the way back to there, which is rather neat, quite like that. And if I come around to the side, and hopefully if I do it the right way around, I can do the sliding door as well. I can also inside here have tension straps, so if you want to put pallets in here or logs or whatever you want to put in here, it's entirely up to you. Or if you just want to take some bodies and go and bury them in the woods somewhere, whatever you want to do. It's your van, you do what you like with it. So let's make sure I close the right one this time. Fantastic. And start this up. Right, we have got a lot of storage space for vehicles, crops, whatever it is you want to store. Actually, one thing I meant to check, and I kind of just glanced over it. Oh, without a trailer, I'm not going to know. There is one about. Anyway, lots of storage space. Some kind of more like warehouse-looking buildings just in front of us here as we head south down the map. Fuel point just here in the middle as well. And if we come round and head south through the farm, I'll put the small map up down there. We've got to the left our for putting things into the silos, which are all here and are rather large, and then we've got our collection point if we want to load up trailers from the silos just here. If we carry on heading through, we've got even more storage, sort of, they're almost like the old hangar sort of things that you had on Sosnovka as well, rather large, with our seed and fertilizer refill points, and this is where we've got our vehicles are just through here. There are gold nuggets on this map also, so I would imagine there'll be 1 million up for grabs for anybody who should desire it. Now, as far as vehicles go, we start with the Case Puma, which is not a bad tractor to be starting with, I have to say. 270 horsepower, so it's the large engine size one. The Case Axial Flow 7130, not a usual starting tractor, again slightly larger one. The Case 3020 35-foot header, not too bad. It's going to seem tiny on these fields. Agroliner trailer, we've got the Torano cultivator, Verimaster plough, Pronto 9 from Horsch, Cedar, then we've got the Amazon sprayer set up, and obviously the Lizard I've added in just because I wanted to get around the map a little bit quicker. That's your vehicles. What I was going to try, turn the engine off, is very, very quickly jump into the tractor, hook it up to the trailer, interested to see what size the silo capacity is, seeing as it's a rather large map. Hopefully it's got quite a bit of capacity. $800,000 litres in the silo, so not quite as much as there was on, or there is, I say was, is on Westbridge Hills, but 800,000 litres is not a bad capacity for your silos. Bearing in mind, to make any money you're going to be wanting to sell your crops, I would imagine, not necessarily store them. And obviously there's also the options of the placeables, so you can add to those silos if you really wanted to. So let's jump back up here and back into our rumbler. So we're going to head south. Here's one of the little rickety bridges. I'll say it's not that rickety, but heading over the water course that runs north-south pretty much down the centre of the map. And you'll notice as we drive just how big these fields are. I mean, really, just unbelievable. And the interesting thing we'll get onto, wobble over the road. Actually, while I'm here, we'll do this one here. So this is the small farm, and we've got a sell point. There's obviously a sell point for slurry. There's a sell point for manure. That's hit all of this little farm here. There are, let's say, gold nuggets. I think I've picked up a couple already. Yeah, so there we go, 3. If I swing around and head west first, like I say, there are around the edges of the map various fields dotted around So for grass needs, bales and things like that, they're there and they're actually not too bad. One of the fields you start off with just on the left hand side here. But what was more interesting, I think I'll have to go a bit further along. A few more nuggets dotted around. Is, I mean, it's like looking at an ocean. I mean, this is the width of it. That's side to side. The length you just can't see. I mean, the curvature of the earth just takes it away from you. It's absolutely crazy. And then when we look at the actual contracting, the nominal value of this field, $8,429,000. The contract time for this mission, even using the large premium integral slurry injector, 258 minutes. You'll get paid 103,000 for it, which then obviously with the time bonus as well, which would be pretty good. But that gives you some idea of the size of the fields. Realistically, you need a crop sprayer. You know, not a land-based vehicle. You need something absolutely colossal to even entertain doing a contracting job on one of these. Is bonkers. But you know, bonkers good maybe, I don't know. It is a little bit crazy. So we are going to head west and then head north, passing field 5, which we own, or you start with anyway, so we own. So heading north on the western side of the map, we come across a diner, which is an egg sell point, and round the back a normal sell point just here, which is about halfway up the map on the western side. Sorry, we've only been travelling north for about the past hour. And then up towards the northwest corner of the map, we have got the barn. If we look back again at sell points, the old red barn, that's for selling your straw and hay and grass and that kind of stuff. And as we round the bend at the top of the map, we come across the first of our animal husbandry points, which is the cows. So we've got the bunker silo to the left, feed and water points here, and then we've got our slurry and manure point, and we've got a feed area and the cow shed just on the left hand side. If we carry a little bit further along, you've got your buy and sell point for the cows, left 3 for your cow needs. Now interestingly, when we come across here, there's no gates here, so I'm hoping they don't just wander off. Quite a big cow pasture, cow field, and also when we look, I think it's just over there, there's another entrance that takes you straight through into the next pasture, which we're going to come to in a second. So they're all kind of interlocked. Back out onto the main road, and we're heading across the top of the map now, across the vastness of the fields, which brings us round into the pig pen, pig enclosure, manure just there, feed areas, I think that's for putting in the bedding, a few feed areas here, and then pretty much the same kind of layout, the way it's set up. We've got our buy and sell point for pigs just here. Again, no gates, same kind of open plan layout, so you can come straight through from the cows into the back of this one, straight across this one. There's another open area there, you can go straight through into the next enclosure, which is for the sheep. This is all on the northern tip of the map. So your wool pallets will appear here. your grass and water troughs are just to the left, and your buy and sell point is just up here. Again, this is linked into the last two, plus there's another exit there, and just beyond here there's a big kind of like a lake, pond, whatever you want to call it. Another field in front of us, looking south now, directly below on the map where the sheep enclosure is. Quite a big field, so if you're going to be making bales and things like that, you can obviously utilise that space. And obviously for any water needs you're going to need for your animals, you can probably use it from the water source here, but you can also at the main farm. It did say there's a fountain point at the farm. Depends what you want to do really. So if I go straight across the top of the map, we're still heading east across the northern part of the map, across the top of this field here, which is field number 2. Again, slightly smaller than field number 4, not by much. Take a quick look over there. It is gargantuan, absolutely huge. And we're coming towards the sawmill. This corner of the map and heading down the eastern side of the map is where a lot of the pine trees appear to be. Just off here to the left. And we've got some sort of open areas for putting placeables, vehicles, barns, whatever you want to put, I guess. So yeah, we've got a few pine trees along the top part of the map here, and then as you go around the corner and head down the map on the eastern side. But here we have our sell point at the sawmill, sell point for lumber here. We've got the mill ponds just behind us here. Should you wish to fill your little rumbler van with logs, you can always just tip them out the back, I guess. Anyway, enough of that. And if we carry on just around the side of the sawmill, around here, we have got our sell point for wood chips. Now, if we carry on heading east to the corner of the map, the northeast corner, and then we head south down the eastern side of the map, by the side of field 1, excuse me, there's nothing actually down that side of the map other than some more pine trees. So what we're going to do is head back across west ever so slightly, and then take one of the north-south roads that split the fields and split the map. This being the first of them, so we're now heading south along this road. Another field to the right here. Again, bales, grass, hay, whatever it is you want to be doing in there. Or you could plough it if you wanted to and give yourself another field. So we come to the store, the main machinery store for your purchases. This lovely big expanse here, this concrete apron, is where your vehicles will spawn when you buy them. So if you're going for that big machinery, that big bud stuff, there shouldn't be too much worry about it spawning and getting too tangled up. We have got our cash point, very nice big bud display up in the window there, lovely. We've got our customization point just here, and then we've got obviously our store buy and sell point here. It's a nice kind of combination of some of the old style we've seen on various different maps, but then linking in some new stuff as well, sort of the old buildings that look very much like the Bjornholm building, with this nice little feature here. But then when we come around, it's almost like workshops as well. You can't do anything in them. I suppose you can store vehicles in them. There's not really any other point for them. But it's quite nice actually. It's a nice addition, nice touch to the whole thing. I like that. Back onto the road and heading south again. Down the side of field 2, on our right with field 1 over to our left. More barn storage space for vehicles if you want to spread them around your map. And then we've got on our left hand side, I think it's like Valley Grains, is it? Sell point just here, excuse me. Yeah, Valley Grains is just here on the left. We have another egg sell point just here. Another field on the left hand side for whatever use you wish to put it to. And then finally on our trip south, we have on the left hand side just here the spinnery. So if you've got wool and you decide to do loads of sheep, this is your sell point. Another cash point here as well, but that's your sell point for wool. Nice big ball of wool up on the roof. And then right at the very end of this road, before we get down to the main road, we've got some very static looking animals who are all waiting to be purchased. Lovely. So this is your kind of Emerson's, although it doesn't say Emerson's livestock market on this one, but this is your livestock market. If I click on here, L3, there we go, buying and selling. If you want to transport them yourself, this is where you're going to come to with your trailer to pick up and or sell your animals. Now very quickly when we get to the bottom of the map, we're just going to bung a left here, heading eastward again, only because when you get to here, just because I thought it was a point of interest, we've got a kind of area to, almost like a secondary farm unit if you want it to be. Put some more placeables here. We've got lots of these kind of bisa shelters, all interlinked, interlocked. Fuel point, seed and fertilizer refill points, and another shelter here. So like I say, if you're spreading your vehicles around the map and you want other locations for filling seed and things like that, this one here, so we're now in the southeast corner of the map, down here, that's where you'll find them. Now one thing I did forget to show you was back at the farm, or just north of the farm actually. I'll head back there now. So the part that I failed to point out, which I was standing right in front, there was a question mark here and it said about a fountain. So I'm not sure if the actual refill point for water is right here, because this is where the question mark was, but just behind this building here you've got another big kind of water, not even a water tank really, another large pond if you want to call it that, which is at the farm. Just to the right up here at the main farm is the chicken coop. I mentioned it but didn't show it, so jumping out again, chickens are just here, scratching around and scrabbling around for whatever it is they eat. And then the very last thing on this tour, the one thing I had missed out and I completely forgot, was, or is, the BGA. From this side would have been more appropriate. Again, we're one of these, you know, the BGA's become a kind of standard thing. We're used to the configuration with the huge digestate slurry tank, whatever you want to call it. This one has got a slightly different sell point trigger, which is quite nice, a bit interesting, something a little bit different. Not quite sure how that's going to affect the selling of things. The fact we've got kind of a sell point trigger laid out here, I don't know if you're going to be able to kind of just back up a trailer and dump here. I don't think you'd be able to. I'm assuming you're still going to have a conveyor or a wheel loader or something, but it's quite a long container. It's an interesting one. I'd say something a little bit different, but that's the BGA, and that's Mustang Valley Ranch. It is huge. It's going to require huge equipment, huge patience, or just lots of equipment, all working in perfect harmony. Big yields, big loads. It's going to be amazing. I mean, let's be honest, if this is the sort of thing you're into, you're going to love this map. I'm not sure if these are a little bit too big for me, but it is a cracking map. Great details. Like I say, look at the water course and kind of water shimmering, and this is brilliant. Really, really good. Really good map. Really, really big. I do like my contracting. If you've watched any of my Let's Plays, the contract on this, quite frankly, terrifies me. It was hours and hours and hours worth of contracting work. But that being said, it is a great map. Nice addition to the Farming Simulator series from Something on My Shoe 2. And also the Rumbler van, if you're interested in purchasing a van for all your van type needs. It's one of those vehicles you just didn't know you needed. You probably still don't, but I love it. I think it's great. Once I get the hang of opening and closing the doors, of course. Yeah, good little bit of kit, that. Anyway, that being said, that is the end of this first look map tour for Mustang Valley Ranch. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's been useful. Just a quick whiz round, see where everything is, look at the sheer size of it. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share the video, please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.